It's in process, right, as we speak, in terms of when we'll find out on Marcus's waiver. That's really up to the NCAA.
How does Marcus kind of fit into this system, playing-wise, culture-wise, that kind of thing? How does he kind of fit into the program?
Yeah, so Marcus fit in great, right, in terms of being able to come in, get established academically. In terms of the human being that he is, he fits great here at BYU. So in terms of, on the court, right, it's really to be determined. But his skill set really is conducive to Coach Pope's system.
He had that boot on his right foot. Has he practiced with you guys yet?
Not yet. So right now that's really precautionary, right, measures. It's in the healing phase, but hopefully we'll be able to get him back, sooner than later.
Coach Pope likes to say seniors are magic. You do have some experience on the team. How do you tend to leverage that in the Big 12 where there's so much talent? It's the best league, obviously.
Yeah, the Big 12, looking on paper, right, looks fantastic once again. For us, to be able to have 10 practices prior to our foreign tour and to have most of our guys a year older has actually been really exciting for us as we've gone through practice this fall. In addition to the transfers that have come in and, in them working their way kind of into the system and the flow of things, we feel like we're going to get a good non-conference experience, right, game in and game out, to prepare us for the Big 12 when it comes.
How much of a difference this is going to make to have Trevin Nell back healthy in terms of your outside shooting and playmaking on the wing?
Yeah, for us to be able to have everybody healthy, including Trevin Nell, is really, really important as we go throughout this season. The Big 12, right, is probably not just the best league, right, but also one of the toughest, most physical leagues. And so for our guys to, all be available, right, as much as possible is really going to lend itself to what Coach Pope wants to do, and that's continue to try to be the best, right, three-point shooting team in the country.
I know you had the trip, but through 5-6 practices, what's kind of an identity or what are some descriptors of this team that have emerged?
Yeah, we've really loved the competitive spirit of our guys through the first 4 or 5 practices or first week. We really feel like guys are doing the best they can to have the pace, right, that we want offensively in order to be able to shoot, right, threes at a pretty high level. Defensively, we're still kind of working out, where we're going to be, from a disruptive standpoint, from an identity standpoint, but we want to do everything we can, right, to guard each individual and as a team at a high level.
You guys have had 2 seasons gearing up to go into the Big 12. What's been the biggest change in that time?
I think the biggest change, right, is still to be determined. January 6th, right, we'll find out kind of what the change will be. Purely from a game standpoint, to have, top 75 team, right, in the country, game in and game out, we just haven't experienced yet. All the excitement, right, all the recruiting, all the off the court, buzz, that's all been a nice change. But again, it's not until you step in between those lines versus Cincinnati, and then you head out to Baylor, right, then you've got Central Florida, and then you come back, that we'll really be able to experience what's the Big 12 is all about.
What improvements has Dallin Hall made from last year?
Dallin's done a great job in terms of his leadership, right, first and foremost. Right, as a freshman, you're trying to figure out what's going on. Now as a sophomore, right, he really feels like I can be a little bit more vocal, in his presence, in the huddle, offensively, defensively. But also I think he's made tremendous strides in understanding, right, what he's capable of doing on the court, right? Again, last year was kind of up and down in terms of consistency, in terms of minutes. Clearly he had some big plays, but I've seen his confidence rise, right, over the summer and into fall and through this first, 5 or 6 practices.
Are you close at all to identifying a starting 5?
I don't think Coach Pope is close at this stage. When we were on the foreign tour, we were kind of 5 in, 5 out. He changed the lineups pretty consistently. Through practice, we've been changing lineups to evaluate, which lineups are most effective. So I think as we get closer to the season, he'll probably determine that.
You had a couple of transfers come in Allie and Dawson that were, kind of their go-to the go-to guys in their former teams. How do their offensive skills kind of mesh with the guys that you're returning? What kind of fit do you see there?
Yeah, so each guy is unique, right, in their own right, comparatively to the guys that are returning from last year, right? Ali, as a 6'11" big, right, he can really pass the basketball. He shoots the three. I think it was 42% last year. And Dawson, right, has shown, right, over the past couple of years that he can create his own shots, at a very high level. So, each of those guys continue to work themselves into Coach Pope's system appropriately, but we're very, very pleased with the progress that they've made, and we're excited to see what they do on the court.
Do you feel like you guys have recruited and added enough depth to hold up in this new league?
Yeah, so with the guys that have come in, right, as well as all the returners, we feel like we're a year older, right, and we've gained more experience with the guys that have come in. So we do feel at this stage that we've got the depth, right, to be able to go through game in and game out, non-conference as well as conference.
Where's Jackson improved the most since last year was his first year? Now he's had the whole summer stepping into maybe more of a leadership role.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, right, with most of our guys that are now a year older under Coach Pope's, right, tutelage. He understands, what we're trying to accomplish. He understands, where his fit and role is at a higher level. He's gained more confidence, right, in himself and in his teammates, which has allowed him, right, to be a little bit more leadership-minded. Spencer has also done the same in terms of being more leadership-minded. Trevin, as an upperclassman, has been more leadership-minded. We've got a lot of guys that are kind of taking a greater understanding of player-led leadership, right, for this team as we head into this season.
Can you tell me which of these 16 guys are not on scholarship? Or is that something, like you got 16 guys on here, Jared McGregor,
Correct,
walk
yeah.
on. Okay, Tanner Hayhurst,
Mm-hmm.
walk on, and Townsend Triple
Mm-hmm.
is walk on. Okay, there was one other one wasn't sure.
Begins with a T.
Huh?
Begins with a T.
Trey Stewart.
No.
Traden
Up
Christensen.
Christensen. Okay, so those four. Okay, or no?
Yeah.
So you have one scholarship left to give.
There's one available.
One
Yep.
available, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.